All right, everyone. We are back. Still more. Oh no, this song. Sorry, this song is now over because I am back from my food break. Do not worry, Verde. You do not get to cry today. Hello, Verde. We're gonna start the first day of the trial. We collected our evidence. It's October 8th. Let's go. Hello, ma'am. Good morning. She's chipper as ever. Great. So, you're Vera, right? I'm Trucy. Trucy Wright. That's right, with a W. But not right. Right? I don't care. We're on your side. You can tell us anything. Please, just anything. I want some bubble tea. Good morning. Oh, she speaks. Not bad, not bad. But I think you do better with a little smile, you know? Wow. Can't believe Trucy's telling this girl to smile. You know, I think you'd be better if you smiled more, lady. Well, toxic masculinity right now, Trucy. That's fucked up. You're so whoops. You're so pretty, you need to sell yourself, you know? What? Trucy, what are you talking about? So what? Trucy, let's take it easy for starters. See, what do I tell you this, Trucy? Oh. Thank you for taking my case. That is adorable. She's speaking in emoticons. This could work. People love a gimmick. Okay, well, that's a start, I guess. What is that? There she goes with a nail polish again. Is that what that's supposed to be? Is that a bottle of nail polish? Oh, it is. I thought it was like a weird nail statue. That's great. Really, it's so cultured. Want to try? Oh, really? Girls. Why don't you try some, Phoenix? Apollo. Fuck! The victim, Drew Misham, was a forger. And the stolen painting was found in his studio. A life of crime, really. And maybe one that led to his death. And the forged paintings had sketches of all our trials for some fucking reason. Once I took a little break, let's go over some of the evidence, shall we? We have a magic show ticket, the Grammary envelope that will be coming important later, so probably not today. The Vera Misham business card, just to tell her her name. The poison was found on the edges of the coffee. Did we even actually ever analyze this? See that there? That's poison. Yeah. Don't lick it, Apollo. Don't worry, I'll be fine. No, you won't. You'll die. Look, I know. I meant I won't lick it. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Man, this coffee's great. Who knows what you do when I'm not watching? Concern is touching, really. Next thing you know, she'll be telling me not to drink the coffee before bedtime. I know. I was talking about earlier that case. Yeah, it happened back in like 2006. That was pretty somewhat recent. About this guy who used to work for the KGB and then defected and went to the UK. And then, you know, obviously said the terrible things that the KGB did. And then, well, they did not like that. So they went over to him, they had a meeting, and while they were drinking tea, they put polonium fucking 210 in, or allegedly, put polonium 210 in his tea, and then he was allegedly poisoned and then killed. Well, no, he wasn't allegedly killed. He just fucking took, like, weeks for him to die. It's fucking crazy stuff. It's a crazy case. Vladimir Putin was president of Russia back then. And he, suspiciously, the people who were allegedly poisoned him came back to Russia, and then Vladimir Putin gave him medals. So, you can, not say anything. Dots connect somewhere. There's a fire truck outside. I'm like, oh no. A hidden painting. Probably the real one. Red envelope. The important information in there. We saw it. It is some information on... Oh, yeah. Deposit $100,000 in designated account. Please send one receipt. Receipt once we've confirmed the transfer. Sign the papers and send it in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp and within 3 days. I need not remind you, speak of this to no one. The letterbox is empty. Someone's... Can you steal that? Yeah, you could. Yeah, of course you could. Dumb. For some reason, the poison was found... of anthraquinine was found in this painting. Wait, can we open this? Looks like you have to take this back part off to put a photo inside. It had to be a really small photo to fit in there. True. And that pale brush bluish stain. Why would there be a poison on something like this? Well, there's one obvious reason. Whoever put poison in the coffee rubbed the bit of on here too, or they stored the poison in here. That's not very obvious, Tracy. And then the portraits all have images. If I think we examine it more, we can see the image. No clues here. You will not see the X-rayed image. Oh, I like those images. It's really nice. It's a pufferfish. Should we set the camera? No. But yeah, they all have images of the cases. That's what we know. And that's all we have right now. Yay! What up, buddy? Whoa! We will now... oh, God. Begin your trial of, Madame Sham! Yes. Is the judge okay? Where are the jurors? His voice is all raspy, and he's looking around all nervous like. The repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time. It may indeed alter our legal system forever. Wow. Today is a test of the justice system, and the first step toward the new order of our courts. Daddy's secret mission! The jurists will function like a jury. It is hoped their inclusion will help the courts to better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there any jurists in the courtroom? Yeah, where the fuck are they? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch the courtroom at all times. The jurists have access to everything that transpires. Jurists! Judge well and judge cool. Then I'll see here, Prosecutor Kevin. I was going to say that! He was going to say that. My apologies to the judge. Jurists, today, judge this trial coolly, if you would be so kind. The jurists are unbound by the letter of the law. They don't affect the trial with evidence, but by their feelings. Is that how that works? Their feelings? Like, I feel this way about the trial. I'm feeling a little sad about this trial today. We're about to find out just what effect they're gonna have. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. The details of this case, if you would. The victim is the painter Drew Machamp. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you may ask? By none other than the defendant, Vera Machamp. Objection! There wasn't any poison in the coffee. Achtung, someone has been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself. The mug? Oh, residue was found on the rim, I see. The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death. The court accepts this as evidence in the autopsy report. Death by anthraquinine poisoning. Estimated time of death, 9 to 9:30 p.m. According to this report, the victim's death was caused by anthraquinine poisoning. Chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal dosage is a mere 0.002 milligrams. Let me just look at this a little more closely. Age 52 male, October 6, Then 9:30, anthraquinone poisoning. Yep. A touch of anthraquinone in the body? It's a touch of the Reaper's scythe. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin, you may present your witness. For you today, a simple man. For a simple case. A man who witnessed the murder in its entirety. A journalist, no doubt. The witness shall state his name and occupation. Oh no. Right. Well, for starters, my name's Spark Brusher. My job is a lone observer of the world. In other words, a freelance journalist, right? If you don't mind, I'd like to state something here for the record. Yes, Mr. Brusher? I dislike conclusions. Specifically the aspect of jumping to conclusions. Preconceptions make Park sandbox of endless desert waste. End quote. But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday. We literally talked yesterday. Well, that's true, yes. But you must understand, I stand before you today, a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. Scoop turns Mr. Russell into that Mr. Russell. End quote. Fantastic quote. Let's see your testimony then, shall we? Good fucking God, what's wrong with the people in this witness stand? I swear, why is my job going to come to this? A simple case, eh, Gavin? For me, the jury is still out of the courtroom. They're not here. They are watching this via cameras. We cannot add in a jury system, a jury game mechanic into this game at the end of the game. We just could not do that. Too much in the budget. Too confusing too. I visited the studio around 9 that night to do the interview. First outside I entered the atelier. Journalistic history made. End quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next? Star falls. End quote. No one else entered the room besides her the whole time. Except for you as well. You entered the room, buddy. That does sound like a simple case. Unless you were the one who poisoned him. Thank you, Judge. Thank you for being on my side. What are you saying, you Judge? Ahem. Need I remind you the cameras are rolling today? I felt the need to be a bit dramatic. But the close-up on me with the cameras, you see. You didn't do it, did you? What the fuck is that saying? No, me do anything like that? Come on! That's like newsmaker making the news. End quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt. End quote. I know. Wild accusations rock courtroom. End quote. Rock indeed. What? It just said he saw her rock. I was like, yes, I do like rock and roll. Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun. I'm so happy for him. Very well, Mr. Justice. Your cross-examination, please. I visited the studio around 9 at night. Alright. So 9 at night. Isn't that a little late for an interview? That's pretty late. I get eepy around that time. The great painter Drew Misham says, come at 9. Believe you me, I go at 9. The first, and as it turned out, last interview with a prolific painter. Right, can you tell us what it was like when you arrived? The first journalist, huh? You were the first reporter ever in Drew Studio. Posterity will look back on that night as a turning point in journalistic history. A basically insignificant step for all mankind. But a giant step for that Russell guy. End quote. If no one on the outside ever had access to the studio, then it would serve reason that the deed was done by an insider. By which means Vera did it. So, how did this epoch-making interview go? Coffee. Coffee. Was it decaf? Milk? All black? Would you mind being a little more specific? Yeah, what type of coffee, huh? coffee! Let me tell you, I enjoy a cuppa. In fact, it all began when I was in 4th grade. No, wait, that's not what I meant. That's what I meant. I want to know what type of coffee it was. I believe I know what the forehead is driving at. This coffee the victim was served. Did anyone other than the defendant touch it? Right, that. That's what I was going to say, really. Well, now, if you're gonna guess... Well, you've got a question to ask. You best straight up ask it. That's what I tell all the new recruits. Several times if necessary. Right for a grade schooler. That's my motto. Which is to say, I can only write grade school. Can you please get back on topic? Who touched the coffee? Nana. I was in the back, looking at the studio's equipment when she served it. And what happened next? Star falls, huh? What's this about a star falling? Star falls, huh? It's like an old telegram. Send money over. Zowie! You don't know? That's like a journalistic code word. If one personage passes away, a star falls, get it? But there's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars could fall, really. Does this matter? No, I don't know why y'all are having this metaphorical conversation. Oh boy, this is good stuff, good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, let's punch. I know. Star dies. Nah, let's imagination. Of course, you could go with Drew dies. Straight to the point. I like it. I think we need to hear about something a little more substantial. The moment of the death, the Brussels coffee, the Star's coffee. What was the moment of death like? About when Mr. Michan passed away. Oh boy, what a scene that was. He puts his coffee mug down with a crash, right? Yes, and then? And the cold finger of death touches his spine. Life's flame sputters and fails. So cold was that touch, he could do naught but tremble uncontrollably. Actually, life's flame is a little bit tired. Life river froze over. Yes, that's a go. I think he's starting his article already. Could you describe that a little more simply? Well, as you can imagine, I was pretty surprised. He hit the floor, as they say. Artist seizure, his final performance. End quote. This man lacks a lot of tact. Atricornine paralyzes the central nervous system. The body arches back like a bow, and limbs That's quite enough of that! Some of us want to be able to sleep tonight. Yeah, don't go into detail about the deaths. What are we, a courtroom? Oh yeah, well I want details. Lots of juicy details. With that you can listen to our last year's hit single, Atricornine, My Love, by the Governors. Available all major music outlets, Spotify, iTunes, you name it, we got it. We'll mail it to you. The point here is that the victim died of atricornine poisoning. Well, Mr. Justice, how did you find that testimony? It's very important. Just put it in the fucking record, please. Well, as an account of the moment of the victim's death, I'd say it's very important. Please add it to testimony, because I already could tell what I can contradict there. I just didn't say it during all that. Very well, the court requests a witness to add this account to his testimony. Those spasms. That was definitely death by poison. No one. Oh, okay, maybe not. No, he said it crashed. I thought I could say that the cup was broken. Oh, slow acting though. It's slow acting! Slow acting! I thought he wasn't. Alright, well, yeah, we're gonna live with one injury today. Because I didn't save. Well, I saved, but I'd have to do all that again, so I don't want to do that. Let's just press this one just in case. You say it was definitely death by poison. How can you be so sure? Hey, look, I'm a journalist. I've seen a lot of things. And I've had more than a share of my experiences with so-called poisonings. Man eats fishy fish, goes bye-bye, end quote. By the way, I know he didn't do it. He's literally the first fucking person in the trial. That being said, they could pull a switcheroo and be like, alright, this man didn't do it. He leaves, and then we go through like 2 more trial days, and it's like, it turns out it was him all along. We just fucking went in an entirely different direction. But I'm pretty sure he didn't do it. I just used to know who else could have done it. Food poisoning doesn't count. Should we get him back to talk about something else? What about Russell's coffee? So you drank the coffee that Vera served you too. Of course! When someone serves you coffee, you drink it! That's what my old boss always used to say. Never get what he meant by it though. But you're still alive. Which is to say you didn't die. Of course not! No point falling before you're a star. End quote. That's not exactly what I was getting at. What were you getting at then? You know the poison was in the rim, not in the coffee. Oh yes, yes! There were 2 cups on the tray she brought. And one of the cups had Drew's signature painted on the side. No chance to guess would take that one by mistake, I guess. Well, Mr. Justice, was that testimony important? Very important. Add it. We're talking about the coffee the witness drank. I'd say it's important. Very well, please add that to your testimony, Mr. Bushel. Just add all the testimony. I don't fucking care. I drank the coffee too, but I'm not dead yet. Oh, you change it? Oh, he changes it. Oh, we can contradict that. No. You're sure you drank the coffee? Oh, yes, yes, quite. I gulped it down, felt that sweet scorch in my throat. But you say the victim took 1 sip and fell over. And you still kept drinking. Of course! Drink your coffee when it's hot, never when it's not. You just see a man drink poison coffee. It's like, well, that sucks for him. I'm built different. That's what my old boss used to always say. Never really knew what he meant by it. But the star's coffee. Anything about that? You say Mr. Mishram had the coffee too. But did you actually see him drink the coffee? Of course! He who sees it wins. But he who says it wins bigger. End quote. I live in a man sees dog eat dog and writes about it world. Yet? I guess I can't say I saw him drink it really. He had 1 so-called sip. If that. Then puts lips to mug. Drinks? End quote. That poison is quite virulent, I hear. My stomach did so-called somersaults as he gulped down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there. Some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want an adventure, I guess, for the record? Does this guy ever have a pause button? Oh, Mr. Justice, did you find that testimony valuable? How many testimonies are you keep adding, Mr. Justice? The victim drank his coffee and then immediately fell over? Oh, yes, yes. You can go to the press with that one. Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Please add it to the testimony. Very well, witness will add this to the fucking testimony. God. Vital, right? Going to save again. Cause it says slow acting. Whoops. I'm actually just gonna load the save because he's gonna go in a different train of thought there. It's okay. I was right on the idea, just the wrong evidence, the wrong testimony. You know what I have a problem with? A particular property of the poison used, anthraquinone. Old prosecutor Gavin was quite clear about the poison. A lethal dosage of 0.002 milligrams paralyzes the central nervous system. If you drink that, even you, Mr. Justice, would be reduced to a quivering pile. Are you using me as an example? Unfortunately, we weren't told everything. It was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information. An omission? Anthraquinone is as virulent as he says, but death doesn't come upon ingestion, not immediately. That's because anthraquinone is slow acting. Slow acting? What? According to one forensic scientist, it's one of the most virulent poisons, but is absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. It takes at least 15 minutes from time of ingestion to adverse effects to show. Love that scientist. He's cool. If we suppose that the moment Mr. Misham sipped the coffee was when he sealed his fate, then he would still have had time left to enjoy his last cup of joe. Oh my god, look at this man. He's so skinny. He's like a twig. Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? If what the defense says it's correct, why that contradicts the entire testimony we've just heard. Well, Mr. Brushel, anything to say on the record? Slow acting. S-L-O-A-C-T. W, I missed a W. Fuck. It was virulent. Alright. Even then, it had already began digging its claws into the journalist. It's working on his scoop. Objection! It's Brushel, yeah? Brushel, let's take a trip back down memory lane. Huh? Did the victim really die the instant he took a sip? Think it over. This is vital. He's helping the witness. This is bullshit. You know what I think? I think that was a not so subliminal suggestion. And even he knows. I admit it as a problem if he died. And I was holding sweat. X there. Problem if he died when you say he died. I would be forced to say off Wiedersehen to my simple case. So just change it fucking line. And you would be forced to say farewell to your article. Come again? You can't write a story based on conjecture, can you? And as the case drags on, other reporters will pick up the scent. And you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye. Scoop? He's brushing his teeth. He's brushing his tongue. His eyes. No, he's using the brush to clean his glasses. I also am wearing glasses right now. I don't think we do that. We don't, glasses wearers, we do not use a toothbrush. We lick our tongue on it and then just start cleaning the glasses that way. Scoop. Look, wait, just wait a second. Just 1 second. We're waiting. Out with it. And we got 6 people waiting on cameras. Come on, man. I think I just recalled a so-called important detail. They're in the Zoom meeting right now. Just watch it. Revival of recollection, end quote. A story survival, end quote. If he's got a secret glasses technique. Valverde's got a secret glasses technique. I feel like you would know if you were there. Enough busy. Attorney utterly confused, end quote. Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I heard of poison that takes its sweet time, see? But not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently. Mr. Brushel, are you saying you noticed something that explains what happened? You bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote, you might say. Or I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say. I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See, thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee. That's kind of what we were here for. You already told us that. Order! It's not that important information. You already said that. That's why we're here. As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony that Mr. Misham died the instant after he drank. Of course I'm standing by my testimony. And my dream of exclusive rights to this story. I suppose it was too much to hope for. What was? Of course he wouldn't choose a simple case, not him. Him? Phoenix Wright. Who else? Achtung, Herr Brushel. Report for us, if you would. What is it that you noticed? Yeah. This court is a critical trial of the jurist system. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed. What Brushel noticed? But he's sticking to the idea that this dude died instantly. which is a little crazy. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note? That would assume that he was committing suicide. My dude, what? A suicide note? Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation, end quote. Suicide? Poor Mr. Misham. But that means Vera's innocent. Yay, we can go home, let's go. Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview? Oh. Hey, you never know what depression brings. Very well, you may begin your cross-examination. Allegedly, the guy who played Superman, back in the old TV show days, there was a party going downstairs. He was annoyed that everyone was in his house and, tragically, committed suicide upstairs while the party was going downstairs. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Dark stuff happens. But it was also alleged he could have also been murdered. So, you know, just like this case. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. I don't know why I'm reading this again. I do that sometimes. Is there anyone at the studio other than Mr. Misham? Haven't you heard about that case? It was a long time ago. A guy who played this guy who played Superman back in the old TV show. He was a live action actor. On the day of his supposed death, there was a party going on downstairs. He was annoyed that everyone was at his house. He went upstairs at like 2 a.m. and his wife was also downstairs as well at the party. And then he, committed suicide. No, was it Christopher Reeves? No, I don't think it was Christopher Reeves. It was some other. Hang on. I will take a little detour here. No, George Reeves. Was it George Reeves? Yeah, George Reeves. Yes. Case of George Reeves. Look it up. So I don't want to go too much into detail because it's going too far off from what we're doing right now. But yes, case of George Reeves. But it's also alleged that he was murdered because it's a very perplexing story. A lot of stuff went on in that case. Well, his daughter Vera, of course. Was anyone besides Mr. Misham and Vera present? Not a single one. Not a cat. Not a rat. Not even a mouse. The only person who didn't belong to that studio there was you, wasn't it, Mr. Brushel? Yeah, it's a little weird. You're a foreign entity that comes in the studio and then immediately dies. I know what you're doing. I know your game. Attorney uses classic Ramsden phenomenon ploy, end quote. If you intend to suggest that this reporter is a suspect, I'm sure you also intend to present evidence supporting that assertion, correct? In the meantime, let's move along, shall we? A letter, huh? So he put the letter away when he saw you. Early reporter gets the worm, end quote. That's my secret. I'm not sure I follow. It's the night of the interview. I arrived 15 minutes ahead of schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in. Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really? Was it? Maybe he forgot to lock the door. Mr. Misham seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could. I know a secret when I spot one, and that was one. That seems significant. You were the one who took the letter out, didn't you? Well, Mr. Justice? I wonder. It does have a ring of something important. Yes, you're at it. The defense finds this testimony vital, Your Honor. Very well, please add it to the testimony then. Why not? My account comes free of charge. There's a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. Yellow envelope. Was that yellow?
Can we tell the color from this? Oh, no, wait, the envelope. Oh, I thought he was saying that, like, the paper inside the envelope. No. No, it was not. It's red. I thought it was a yellow paper he meant. And we can't see the color of the papers inside. It's all black and white. As it so happens, there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope. Oh, shit, bro. I was wondering when he was like, his animation for getting cornered wasn't. This motherfucker just tied his head. Oh my goodness. That looks like it hurts. Prosecutor Gavin, is he okay? Yes. Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, no. But at forehead, it's easy to mistake the color of an envelope. I guess. But not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already. 7 years ago. Well, Mr. Russell, I can explain that. Drew, right? He wanted to get that letter in an envelope pronto. Get out of sight of my beady eyes, right? So I grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed away. What the hell? You had a yellow envelope contradiction, chump. Well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say to the witness's claim? That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope? The letter he had been writing. Wait, I'm sorry. What are you trying to say? Oh, he did? In a red envelope? You telling me that he put a letter within a letter? Like an envelope within an envelope? I'd say it's possible. It's entirely possible. But Apollo! We checked the content of the envelope yesterday, didn't we? Oh, you're right. Gah, the answer was clear as if only I'd given a little thought. As it just happens, the defense team investigated the contents of the envelope with the assistance of a forensic scientist. What? Probably shouldn't reach Drew Emma under the bus. My bad, Emma. Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Misham. Oh! Why would he address the letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself. Ah, he's been scooped. He's been squeezed. Order! 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 Mr. Russell, can you explain to this court? Oh my. Oh, could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets lots. I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Russell. Well, the thing is, see, after he puts his letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there, searching his desk drawer for something. His desk drawer? Yeah, it's a stamp. A so-called postage stamp. End quote. A stamp? What are for? Well, to mail his letter. What else? And then, why, yes, I think I saw him put it in his letterbox. Yes, it was a yellow envelope, and he put it in that. What the fuck is this guy talking about? He's like, yeah, dude died immediately. Then he put a yellow envelope in the box. Something happened that we did not see. What? This guy is just sticking to his story. He does not care. Not a care in that little head. Also, yes, the box was empty. Well, I did not click X on that. Well, apparently this yellow letter has nothing to do with the case. Oh, I wish it. How I wish it did. Just think of that were a suicide note. What a story. Star writes suicide note in front of reporter. False. End quote. As I was saying, would you view it on me again? I will fucking... I mean, that has nothing to do with this case. That said,
Yes, Your Honor?
makes me wonder about the contents of that red envelope.
Yes. Here it is. Mr. Jumisham, I've deposited $100,000 into the account. Sign the papers and send in the enclosed envelope with enclosed stamp 3 days. I need not remind you what will happen.
$100,000 is quite a good deal of money.
So this was from 7 years ago, yeah? So, am I finished here? I mean, can I go? I gotta remember my report. I was thinking of, going home to start writing. What? This dude sucks as a witness. The worst witness we've had. I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that, rather unique face. He's smelling like... Come on! Tony has active imagination. Little else. End quote.
Even I noticed something, and my eyes aren't what they used to be. I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about.
Tony's just active imagination. End quote.
Let's continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of a story.
Hey, I'm the one asking the questions here, usually. What's going on? Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leverages story. Gets an interview. End quote. End quote. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. That red envelope probably had something to do with it. Wait. It does? The certain case from 7 years ago? Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare.
So you threatened to go to press with this story? That's how you got your interview? Blackmail?
What? Yes! I mean, no! I wasn't exactly black. I mean, not,
Something wrong, Mr. Brussel?
Look. This is my story. My tidbit. Journalist info is livelihood. End quote.
I see.
While you have me chatting away in here, what's going on out there? What if some Wally Wordsworth and Sally Scooper gets wind of my story? They could be going to press while I'm going to waste.
This court feels your pain, Mr. Brussel.
We do.
Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace.
Certain case. 7 years ago. Wait, 7 years ago? Huh? It's his interview. This one we should try perceiving. Because it's important. I feel like this case is jumping around everywhere. Here again. Here again. No. How about this one? Maybe he makes a slight little, like, emotional tick there. Have an envelope. Like, turns to the right. Oh, you're gonna show him turning to the right? Oh, some bullshit there. Maybe we should press these statements. Let's go back to the first one. I forgot I can press circle to do that. The victim, Drew Misham, had an aversion to reporters? Boy, I guess. Not even in my considerable charms did much for him. Until I finally got the thumbs up, that is. Maybe you can elaborate that a bit for us? Blackmail, basically. Blackmail. Exactly what sort of story was this? Oh, a little one, like I said. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing in between. End quote. I might have suggested I had a lead on this particular story, but I didn't threaten or cajole or nothing. Honest! That does sound like threatening and cajoling. I said, I have a lead on this story. Hint, hint. So a suggestion was enough to get an interview. Mr. Misham must have really wanted to keep it under wraps. What about the case? A certain case. 7 years ago? Tell us, what case? Let me state one thing, Mr. Attorney, and you can quote me on this. I can't talk about that case. Why not? It's about journalistic pride and staunchiness and credibility and connections. Journalist reveals sources only over his dead body. Unquote. So what will it be? Gonna strangle me? Don't tell, attorney!
He sounds pretty determined not to talk. What the fuck?
Our chances of breaking this will aren't good. Looking good. On the other hand, on one hand, we have your story, and on the other, this letter. What makes you think the two are related?
Oh, I was just saying it's possible.
Oh, reporter's intuition. End quote.
Hey, I say a lot of things. You're gonna pick all of them apart? Be my guest.
That's kind of what we do here. All of them? No, just incredibly suspicious ones.
I see. Anything else to add about Mr. Misham?
Just how amazing was Mr. Misham's talent? Huh?
Oh, wait, boy.
I mean, hey, he's a star, man. A star. The flow of his brush is like a great undulating river across the canvas. Artist paints light up studio like sun. End quote. This guy's full of wacky gestures. But that one just now was wackier than usual. He looks kind of nervous to me, Apollo. Definitely. I'm sensing something different than before here. Maybe it's time to bring out you know what. The testimony left a bad taste in my mouth. It all makes sense. Nothing jumps out as ridiculous. I wonder what this story he's talking about is. It must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that. Something powerful enough to drag Drew Misham out of hiding. I wonder, maybe if I had something to do with Mr. Misham's art. Well, he said the last one, so that's my hint to look at this one in particular. It's gotta be his hands. What is it? Well, this one's harder than the rest. I don't know. Looking at something very obvious. Maybe his hair. His hair bristles.
It's not moving. He said this one was the one. The last statement was the one that's like, something's up. Gotcha! Mr. Brushel, you're hiding something. Yuck! Don't yell all of a sudden like that. You're giving a guy a heart attack. Sorry, it's just the way you were moving just now. It's particularly suspicious. What's that supposed to mean? So usually I'm just sort of averagely suspicious? Sorry, my mistake. You're fine. I know I'm onto something here. Time to focus. I guess I don't lose anything for this. If it's the last one, let's just press it again. It's gotta be something, right? Mr. Misham's talent. Huh? Ooh, boy. I mean, hey. He's a star, man. A star. Oh, flows brushes like a great undulating river. Across the canvas. Artist paints lights up studio like sun. End quote. Guy full of wacky gestures, but that one just now was wackier than usual. Kind of nervous of me, Apollo. I could have just skipped ahead and loaded, but you know, this has to be it. They obviously mentioned it. We can't present any evidence. It's not a contradiction. This is the first one I'm actually legit stuck on. I don't know. I've done pretty good with these animations. I know a streamer friend of mine who was like, I'm terrible at these. I was lucky to have been able to go through them so far pretty well, but this one is like, here's some wacky things, but I'm not seeing it. Oh. Ah! I saw it! Oh my god, it took forever. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I saw something. That or it's a trick of a light because of the fucking... He's sweating in his armpits! Oh my god. He's sweating. Use some deodorant, my dude. Sweat much, Mr. Brushel? Yeah, well, a man can't help his glands, you know? It's more than that. When Mr. Mesham's talent was mentioned, I did it. It was such a... It also doesn't help because it's in black and white, so I'm just looking for, like, where is it? You suddenly began to sweat buckets. You're hiding something about his talent. That's ridiculous! Evidence time. That's where Mr. Mesham's true talent lay. It just so happens I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in that letter. It's either the hidden painting or the landscape. Please tell me it's the landscape. I can't help but wonder what the court is supposed to conclude from this evidence. Oh, other than that, you've made a horrible mistake. Manbird's bridge forgets to cross. End quote. Let's try that again. Okay, I'm just gonna save. So I was hoping it's the other one. This painting was found in Mr. Misham's studio. There are two problems with this painting. The first is it wasn't painted by Mr. Misham. The second is that there was another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. Oh! Yeah, yo, what up? That's all, Your Honor. Everyone, please, everyone. Can we keep this private? Please? Can we have like a... Can we have a secret meeting right now? You know? Just all of us? This is my story! My scoop! Forgery. That's a serious crime!
Drew Misham is known as an artist these days, but there are rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back.
Another art? Meaning forgery?
Drew Misham was talented, alright. Talented at making precise detail fakes. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover.
Criminal elements?
What? You can't seriously be talking about... Exactly! I'm talking about forging evidence. The rumor started circulating 7 years ago.
7 years ago? So are we to understand that this letter, this payment of $100,000 was for?
Exactly. Forged evidence nets tidy profit. End quote.
Oh, so now we're doing evidence, huh? I thought it was just painted forgeries, but no, he's just forging evidence? Order! 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 Why, it's like our victim was living a double life.
Ha! This is my chance. So the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about. Objection. This is my first time hearing of this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we concluded an investigation. But how did you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some illegal activity here. Objection. But that is no proof trying this letter to our case. What? Our case was and remained simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. And you, of course. Hey. The only thing I poison is my pen when I'm writing interviews.
Mr. Brussel, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. It's fucking... I can't understand half the things you're saying. It doesn't speak well for your reporting acumen.
What are you talking about? My journalism is rock solid. Journalism so solid, you could stand an elephant on it. End quote.
In any case, let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. If we can ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap, the trial is over, to be honest, even though you basically have made no sense whatsoever. And the slow-acting poison part, we're just going to ignore that. It's fine. The trial's over. We can go home.
Apollo, what's he talking about? The trial's examination showed Mr. Brussel didn't have reason or means to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects. Then the killer had to be Vera. That's what. This next testimony is our last chance.
Mr. Brussel, your testimony, please.
A recap. The only other person in that studio that night was the defendant. It was him. And her. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She admitted it as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during that interview was that mug. And nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing. Clearly, the one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. A nice testimony. Clear, succinct, and without room for doubt. Ah, shucks. You really think so?
I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Hey, well, Mr. Justice, you may begin your final cross-examination.
But right. I still have one trump card left to play. And I won't let this trial end until I use it. And you. But that doesn't prove Vera poisoned it. Objection. How many times have we heard that one forehead? The poison reached its victim via that coffee mug. And from where did that coffee come? Not to beat a dead horse again and again, but perhaps you could fill us in. I'm on it. You need a horse to beat. I'm your man. And you witnessed her pouring the coffee. Of course I didn't witness it. But you came in. But you came in with that tray. The coffee was already poured and a-steaming. Let's not forget the defendant has admitted to pouring the coffee herself. I heard her statement. I poured, I served, and I killed. What? Hero, you're killing me here. You're killing me. That last part was just a joke. A little joke. Oh my god, dude. What did she actually say? I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere with this coffee mug. I need to find another weak spot in this case. Even though I'm gonna still press this. You sure about that? Well, to be really, really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time. No wonder you smell like mint, dude. One of those candies might have been poisoned. Yet at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room. And no mint residue was found. It was a long shot anyway. I mean, I tried. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee? Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some proof, paint. Oh yeah, just a joke, just a little fib, just a meme, you know, it's, fuck it. Possibility is there, I can feel it, just maybe not prove it. Not yet. Impossibility isn't gonna cut it, not now. Mr. Misham ingested that poison via a route other than that coffee? Not yet. It can't be proven. I do believe our little forehead is growing up. Pity. We like the rash-youthful forehead best. Not a hole in that case needs to be plugged. Needs plugging before I can prove anything. But first things first. I better uncover a weak spot before I try to strike again. I'll come back to that if that's the if there's nothing else I can come up with. That's the big one, isn't it? Nothing left that studio. Not one thing. You sure? Yep, sure as can be. Well, we had one exception. One exception? Oh, for fuck's sake. What? Journalistic Spark, Brussels, does interview. Leave studio. End quote. Gotta be joking me, dude. Come on! It was a joke! Get it? Not funny? I know, but still. Something leave the studio that night? Why does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before? Aren't we proven the witness is a comedian of sorts? I thought to turn to our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what, if anything, might have left that studio that night? The red envelope is still there. Letterbox is empty. He said he put a letter in there. A frame measuring 2 inches by 2 inches bears deadly trace of poison. Trace of poison. There was a picture probably in this frame, right? With the poison in it? Is that either the frame or some letters in the letterbox? Those are all I can think of right now. The red envelope is still on the desk and it's not taken out. I think one thing might have very well left that studio that night, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. By which you mean? By which I mean... I got like 2 options here. Something other than our witness. Of course. Don't tell me. Venom Mishan. Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice. Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you, but I do have evidence that shows how it could have been taken from the scene. Well, if we're going that, I picked a tiny frame. A poison. I find Prosecutor Gavin more amusing than this guy, really. Just was comic relief, why do I not feel amused? What evidence, not entertainment, Mr. Justice! Fine! Oh, it's not policy. There goes my career in stand-up. I'm not taking a hit. It was two guesses anyway.
But, you know, then it has to be the letters. There's no letters in that letterbox, even though, this guy said there were. They're gone. This is the only link between that studio and the outside world. A letterbox! What did Mr. Brushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter. Yeah, I said that, and yeah, it was true. Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox. Oh! But that very same letterbox was empty. In other words, that night the yellow envelope disappeared. Objection. Ah yes, intriguing. So an envelope disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing. Nothing. What are you talking about? Huh? He has a point, Mr. Justice. What I'm trying to figure out is how the poison got into Mr. Misham. Is it really important that that envelope the witness says he saw disappeared? Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me. Very well done. The witness will add this to the testimony. Oh my god, wait. You lick envelopes. Oh my god, why didn't I think about this? You lick envelopes to seal them, obviously. What if the traces of poison was on the envelope that we do not see anymore? It is gone. Meaning that the killer didn't need to be in the room when that happened. He could have left. If that so-called yellow envelope exists, which probably does. But then how would he give him the yellow envelope? I'm thinking ahead. Let's just keep going. Oh, well, the witness will add this to the testimony. You got it. I still think this fails to change anything at forehead. I wouldn't be so sure. The letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for. Oh, and the trace of the poison was probably from his mouth. When he put his mouth on the mug of the coffee. Meaning it came from his saliva. Oh. A letter was put in the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. Nothing could be more serious than an envelope disappearing from that studio. And you were hiding that fact from us. Yes, well, actually, I don't argue the possibility that a letter disappeared from that studio. But Airforehead, isn't there a much more serious question before us? Right, how Mr. Misham was poisoned, I know. But Mr. Brushel's testimony has changed, which means the facts of the case have too. What he's told us means something entirely different now, I'm starting to think. Let's keep thinking, Apollo. Well, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. Was put in the post from the studio. Two sheets of writing paper. That does not have no connection to this at all. Now, my guess is this tiny ass piece of paper in this frame was put into the yellow envelope and had poison on it, and then when he licked it or something, I don't know, obviously it just, poison got on him. I already presented this. A large plum in the foreground. Found on the cup of the rim. An envelope from Mr. Wright. Do not open until the time is right. This is pink, not yellow. Unless he's colorblind. I just want to, you know, I'm not entirely, you know, against that idea. It was put in the post from the studio. Unless I'm colorblind. I kind of want to present this, even though I know it's not the case. His own autopsy report. I knew it. The future telling paintings. He put his own autopsy report in that studio and sent it to the autopsists. I looked behind the paintings. There was no thing behind the paintings. What the hell? Oh. I don't know if you can hear, but there's apparently a party going on. From the neighbors. Goodness. Well, it is Saturday. Hopefully it doesn't catch on the mic. 'Cause I don't want any music to just get me copyrighted. Is this... Hang on, let me just tell. No, I can't hear it. Also, it could have just been a fucking loud ass car because it's gone. Even though it does seem like the mic was picking it up. Sorry about that. Neighbors. Anyway, fuck. What proves that the letter matter is contradictory? I'd always put in that post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. I could go with my thought process. He licked it, and then he put the traces of the slow-acting antranine poison on the cup when he drank a sip of coffee. And then it could just be this. Well, it could be this. How about we press the other statement first? Maybe there's another thing there. You say clearly, so if it were obvious. This claim that the defendant poisoned the victim is merely conjecture. Yes, well, you see, in my business, it's all about making the most ridiculous things sound right. Bad habit, I know. Yes, well, actually, I guess this is more a case of ridiculous journalist sounds wrong, end quote. Court is forced to agree with you. Please refrain from wild conjecture. Understood loud and clear. If only I could believe that. What do you think, Apollo? Everything he's saying seems so not flawed. That's kind of what you want from a testimony, really. You need to keep an eye on what matters. How and why was Drew Misham killed? There, poured the coffee. That's not gonna change. But if that coffee didn't kill him, I need to find what did and prove it. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug. Let's save it again. Saving it so many times. Let's go with the empty frame now. Objection! No. This contradicts it. You sure about that, buddy? You sure? Come on, man. This grammary envelope? The most important envelope that I obviously don't need to reveal yet. I have in my hand, Your Honor. Okay, fine. We're starting to throw out wild-ass theories. Not the painting. The tiny little frame. You can look at every painting. I looked at them, though. Very carefully. No ways. That would be so funny. I don't know why I did that. Or maybe it was a different type of autopsy or some shit. I don't know. He's forging evidence. A letter was put in the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. Or the only thing that touched Drew's lips during that interview was that mug. But the mug and the... I have the idea. I have what I think happened. But the poison was put on that envelope that we don't have anymore. I just can't get there yet. No. What about... Contents of the red envelope. Hoping there would be something there, but no. We've already talked about the red envelope. Tickets to the magic show. The magic show. Got them front box office seats. 2 pieces of writing paper. Already examined everything about this. Let the letterbox again. I know, that's literally how I got here in the first place. I think here. What was put in the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. The bit in the middle is supposed to be a person. Vivid colors. Is it supposed to be telling us something? No, it's just an abstract ass painting. I was never good at art analyzation. Maybe there is nothing here. This portrait! I press every statement here. So who says post? Are we British? It could be more serious than you hiding that fact. What? And what he's told us means something entirely different now. I'm starting to think. Aqua. Oh yes, I do have some water. Oh no! Wow, this is a delicate glass. Goodness. As I went, I had like 2 cups. One of water and one of soda. Went to pick it up. My other glass cracked the cup of empty soda. It's not like a huge crack, but it's enough that I can't use it anymore. Man, that sucks. This is a cool glass. I got it from Omega Mart. It was always a delicate type of glass. Damn. That's tragic. Yeah, well, I'm gonna put it over there. No, I didn't drop the water. I basically, it was next to each other. I picked up the water, and it just slid it, and it cracked the rim of this other glass. Ugh. It's a tiny crack, though. It's not like glass is everywhere. I'm gonna put it away, though, before it gets in the way. Thankfully, the other glass is fine. That was also empty anyways. Both are empty now. But the other glass is fine. And the other glass is like a Portal 2 cup. It has like the companion cube on it, like a little sketch on it. It's pretty cute. So I'm at least happy that glass is fine. An Omega Mart though. Maybe I can use it like as a something else. Like a little decoration. But I can't use it to drink water anymore, that's for sure. Or anything. Anyway, we were on this. Clearly the one who's... Oh, what's the letter mean? Drew Studio. Bear Misham. Bear Misham D again. What we're trying to do is figure out how the poison would have gotten on his lips again. There's the blue poison. There's coffee. Signature. I can't analyze this. Can't turn around the envelope or anything. I kind of wanted to, but hidden painting. Maybe the edges. Have I checked the edges? That would be funny. Do we check all the... I mean, if it was the edges, then one of these would have reacted by now. To something. Usually evidence doesn't come out of the other evidence. I say usually. There was that one time of the playing card and the grape juice was in there. Should we open this? Whoever put poison in the coffee rubbed a bit on here too. It's not very obvious, Trucy. It has to be this. Something with this. Objection! But it's not that. A letter is gone. Hang on. Blood. How and why was Drew Misham killed? Very important to coffee. That's not gonna change. That coffee didn't kill him. I need to find what did and prove it. That one's fine. Those two are fine. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was the mug. I must start having to go to other facts of this case. Obviously, I'm on the idea that him licking the letters is what killed him. I don't have that missing piece of that missing letter. I don't know where it is. We don't have that yet. Maybe we'll find it, but we don't have it. So my guess, those two of the biggest piece of evidences where it's like important. The only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. What about this ad envelope? It has the evidence of people who would have poisoned them, but it doesn't have a way that... But we already talked about that before. We said, just because there are other enemies doesn't mean you have proof that they would have killed them. We have proof that this woman poured that coffee that killed him. Oh, I'm ready, alright. Let's see. I was just like, maybe this will work. No. Do. It's gonna drive me insane. Gotta figure this out. Maybe I should finally do a whole, like, give me 5 more minutes, and then I'll just ask. That's probably true. I could do that. We'll see. We'll see in 5 minutes. Because I don't want to stay here forever. This is a new statement. Usually when you get new statements, you present a piece of evidence, but I feel like I presented almost every piece of fucking evidence. We could just start presenting every day. What about the magic show ticket? I mean, that's one way to go about it. It would be annoying. Obviously we did that one. We did that one. Did we do that one? No, yeah, okay. I keep doing the tiny little frame. That's not true. When I press this statement, he means the facts of the case have changed. No, and the box is gone. Estimated time of death 9 to 9:30. Two. Wait a minute. I did do one thing. Hang on. Right. There was one moment where I could have presented evidence. And I said no, but we could go back to that, I guess. What was it at that time? Just maybe not prove it. Not yet. And the possibility is gonna cut it. Not now. I can prove it. Proof is possible. Here goes nothing. Yeah. Yeah, guitar it. Guitar that shit up. You do understand what we need, yeah? Proof, Airforehead. Not possibilities. Of course. And Prosecutor Gavin, I hope you understand. I'm ready to give you that proof. What did you say? I have proof of the disappearing envelope. I saw him writing a letter. I did. Which was picked up by the mailman, I assume. I mean, they could have also been picked up by the killer, but okay. Of course. Which means that envelope had a stamp on it. A stamp. Oh! As we all know, stamps come from dried glue on the back. In order to use that glue, you have to wet it. By licking the stamp! Bitch! No one worth talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age. But this man is old-fashioned. Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead after all. Objection. Okay, so he licked the stamp. But wait! How does that explain the anthraquin on the rim of the coffee mug? Objection! If he licked the back of the poison stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? What would then happen if he put the coffee mug to his mouth, Those traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing. It was the other way around. What? The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Misham. Mr. Misham poisoned the coffee mug himself. Oh my god! Order! 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 But that doesn't... Does it? Recall if you would. Anthraquinone is a slow-acting poison, yes? The poison entered his body when he put the stamp on that envelope. But his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips of that cup of joe. Oh my god, he was right! It's like, I saw him! Once he took the sip, he immediately collapsed. Well. Goodness. Oh, yeah. You have something to add, Mr. Russell? Uh-oh. Is this speaking of the said? As I believe I mentioned earlier. Well, that's the thing, see, after he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there, searching his desk drawer for something. Yes, a stamp. A so-called postage stamp. End quote. But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one. Maybe he just ran out. Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime. There were no stamps. Not a single one. What does that... Oh, that does pose a problem. How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison? Ah, they were in the little thing. Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp you used was poisoned possible. Good show, good show. You can't even prove there was a stamp in the first place. Well, let's hear it. What the defense has to say anyway? What is your evidence that proves the existence of a poison stamp? This is such a small, tiny frame. For stamps! Well, that certainly is a cute little frame. And by little, I mean very little. Usually it cuts my image, so I was like wondering, oh god, did I get it wrong? No, it's just, shut up. It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I noticed that too during my inspection. So what? Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been. You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important. Missing something? Yes, a pale bluish stain on the inside of the frame. Anthraquinone residue. What? Why wasn't I told about this? The frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller. Maybe an inch wide at most. You weren't saying... Oh, but I am. Tell me, what fits in such a small frame?
A commemorative stamp, perhaps. This guy's very old-fashioned. You put a commemorative stamp ready for approval. Order! 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 The poison stamp was in this frame. Impossible. Prosecutor Gavin. Why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide if the mood struck. Oh. You know, can I say something? I had a thought. See. This case 7 years ago. Was he supposed to die then? Was that like an old ass murder attempt and they just never did it? It was like a ticking time bomb, and then when he finally was like, I'll use this stamp. And then he used it, and I was like, oh, fuck, I'm dead. My mom collected all the state quarters. Oh. That's kind of neat. I'm not really into collection of stamps or quarters. I did used to collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards back in the day, but they're somewhere, but can't remember where they are anymore. You know, can I say something I had thought? See, what? Mr. Russell, and please stop chittering around like that. The victim was a forger, right? There's a lot of money in that line of work. Forger forges friends, makes enemies too. End quote. So the poison stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him. Objection! I collected titty figures. Thank you for that guitar solo. As second says, I collect titty figures. That's very important. I don't see much appeal. It's like, yeah, I like anime women, but do I really want to find a place to present them somewhere? It's like, Oh, rich. That's rich. I have room. Leave that ridiculous flights of fancy to the Gavineer's song lyrics, please. Finally, something we agree on. The stamp was a murder weapon? Nonsense. Murder is a simple business. Who would go to such lengths? No one. Oh, I disagree. Come again? Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle. Oh, I won't come again. I'll come all the time, Mr. Oh, you know what that is? Inappropriate phrasing. Never mind. Drew Misham hid from the world. He avoided meetings. His only contact with the outside world was the mail. The mail! The evils of the mail system! No, I don't. I actually don't have space for that. Okay. It was a joke. I didn't know. I thought you were really into. Imagine playing this in 40 years and USPS doesn't exist anymore. Nobody mails letters. Yeah, that would be crazy. Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew red letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon. I mean, The Greatest Attorney is like a prequel game that's like in the way past or something. So, I mean, that's kind of like that equivalent. These will become like The Greatest Attorney. It's like, oh wow, look at this relic of a bygone era. Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I want proof. Show us evidence this poison stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon. That is difficult to produce. I might not have evidence, per se, but things are finally starting to come together. What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling. I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it. I think I know how Mr. Misham was killed. Well, fill us in, Mr. Justice. A certain piece of evidence points us to the truth, Your Honor. I can show you how someone with the intent to kill sent Mr. Misham a stamp of death. Please send a receipt once you've confirmed the transfer. Sign the papers and send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. I need not remind you. Speak of this to no one. This was opened and then resealed. Isn't this the envelope?
The one from 7 years ago. Think about the text of the letter again. There were 2 pages in the envelope. This is page 1. And this is page 2. I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor. Oh!
In other words, if I had this straight,
The stamp! Poison on the stamp!
lick, lick, gasp, end quote.
This is surprising. This motherfucker has went from the worst witness to probably the best witness in the entire game. He was like, oh yeah, he drank that coffee and then he instantly died. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Now it makes sense. Like, what the fuck, bro? Now, what if he had done exactly as the letter asked? He would sign the document, put it in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right? Then he would put it in his letterbox. 15 minutes wouldn't have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter. The clock started ticking. When the time came, he drew his last breath, and the murder weapon would be taken away from the scene. Conveniently thanks to the postal system! Damn. The postal system arrived just then. It's like, letter for you at 9 p.m. at night? Such a splendid imagination you have, Air Forehead. Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So, this poison stamp was inside the envelope from 7 years ago. Is that what you would have us believe, really? Well, it is a little bit of a stretch, but there's a possibility. Yes, a very small possibility. How small, I wonder? Poison stamp in this envelope. Stamp that became the murder weapon. How do you intend to prove this seeming coincidence? Well, fuck. It was 7 years ago. And we don't even know who sent that letter. And your answer is silence. I see. Very well. I move to... It's not nice to pick on the Fräulein Clavier. Oh, shit. Fucking visions. I was like, that's not possible. He's in jail. Emma. Oh, she's coming to save me. Well, like my Christoph Gavin impression? Did I sound like him? Damn. Don't quit your day job. Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fräulein Detective? Someone had to come dig you up. You all out of the mess you're making of this case. Mess? You know, none of this would have happened if you just trusted in science a little more. You can find out if that stamp was in the envelope. Easy. Could you explain yourself, Fräulein Detective? Glare at me all you want. Well, science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right? That's right! The poison detection spray! Produce the red envelope at once. You can open it on the authority of the court. There it is. Look at that. Right there, baby. Would you look at that? No mistaking it. That's androquinine residue. I don't believe it! A murder weapon from the past. Now 7 years later it bears its fangs at last. Objection! Absolutely outrageous. Tell me why. Why did this murder take place 7 years ago? Well, there's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Misham figured it out. Figured what out? He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead. He sent his reply with a different stamp. And put his decisive evidence in a frame? Oh! Bro, you're still here? Yeah, I was about to say, you're still here? Stuff I lived, bitch. Don't forget to stretch. You know, it's a good point. I do. Doing it. Hang on a second. All right. Oh, it's almost 5 hours. Goodness. All right.
Can I make a statement here on the record? I, Spark, Razortooth, Russell, claim this scoop as mine. Drew Misham killed in cold blood by sender of 7-year-old letter. End quote. No, maybe something more succinct. Star falls after 7-year delay. End quote.
Bro, you weird. Interrupted us for that? Order! 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 I see no room for further argument here. Though I admit this is all coming quite a shock. To think that the murder weapon reached his mouth after 7 years. Stamp is ticket straight to afterlife. End quote.
Uh-oh. I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge.
I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant.
Apollo! I think we just won.
Very well. This court finds defendant.
Objection!
God damn it! Stop! Is this the bright future of our legal system?
Prosecutor Gavin?
A ticket to the afterlife from 7 years ago? Tickets for Governor's shows are invalid after 2 weeks.
But it doesn't make sense any other way.
Also, we forgot, don't we have to talk to the jury? Don't they have to, you know, the 6 people watching this right now, don't they have to come up with a verdict right now?
But it doesn't make sense any other way.
It boggles my mind that so many people have noticed this. It's a fatal contradiction in Air Forehead's claim. A contradiction? Poison stamp was placed in this envelope 7 years ago. Whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew Misham have done what he did? Emma explained that. He must have realized it was poison, but why kill himself after that, dude? That's the big problem. Therein lies the rub. 7 years ago, the forger Drew Misham sensed a trap and put the stamp in a frame. I do not debate this, but this begs the question, why 7 years later did he use the stamp on the night of the murder? Surely you don't mean to suggest that Mr. Misham simply forgot? He put the murder weapon in the frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot? You expect us to believe he sprung that trap on himself? Oh, damn it. Back to square one.
While I admit this is all quite shocking myself, it does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap that had been sitting on his desk for 7 years.
Apollo? I don't think we're winning anymore. Damn it. It's gonna be the quickest case in Apollo justice. I'm glad to see we're all back in the real world now. Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you. Wow, objection. Okay then, how do you explain the poison stamp that was in this envelope? The poison stamp? What exactly is this poison stamp again? Have you brought it to the court for us? I see no proof that such a thing ever existed. Objection! What about the atroconine residue, huh? Oh, I agree. That does seem to be atroconine residue. But at forehead, it's certainly no stamp. Yeah, but even if your precious poison stamp did exist, Drumasham never would have used it. That is all. Not good. I believe we've come to a conclusion. Again! Oh, Apollo! We were wrong the whole time! No, we were won! Oh no, we lost! Fuck! I can't believe it! The poison traits match up! It can't be a coincidence! I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year. Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor. Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Misham received a red envelope. There were traces of poison atroconine on the document inside that envelope. Similar trace was also found at this crime scene on this tiny picture frame. The defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope. An envelope that left the scene of the crime with the poison stamp on it. Yes, but even if this envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew Misham, knowing this, put it in a frame, he never would have used that stamp. I'm afraid you're right. Which means there is a fatal flaw in the defense's case. I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time, I'm sure of it. The traces of the atroconine, the envelope, the frame, and Drew Misham's mysterious death. They're all connected somehow. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us? The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. Even if we are fucked. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense. Which means that one of our clues must be a fake. Ah, a fake clue. Fascinating. A fake clue? And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable, yeah? A fake clue that's thrown us off the poison's trail is none other than Drew Misham. He is entirely fake. The red envelope. It was opened and then resealed. But why put it in a frame? It's a frame. This frame is the fake clue? Without a doubt, Your Honor. Objection? Wasn't it you who presented this evidence to the court? Oh. Hold on a second, Apollo. The poison on the envelope, that frame, and the coffee mug? They're all connected somehow. Oh, right. Can hear already. Looks like the fake was you, Air Forehead. You can flog ourselves later, Apollo. Now's the time for thinking. Wait a minute, you just said the poison on the envelope, the frame, and the coffee. Oh, so it's gotta be the red envelope then. This red envelope is a fake! Without a doubt, Your Honor. But she literally presented this clue! Oh my god, how is Drew Misham? What are you talking about, bro? What? Is it Lloyd Forger? Oh my god. It's a fake person. It's a different person. It's Lloyd Forger. He's disguised himself. Drew Misham. Did the fake someone was a fake clue? I'm afraid I don't understand. I don't understand either. What the fuck? I'll explain. We have an envelope, a frame, and a mug linked by poison. That all makes sense. Doesn't make sense is the victim himself. Objection! Congratulations. You've completely lost me. So the fake evidence is none other than the master of fake himself, the forger. Oh my god. Oh my god, that really is Lloyd Forger shit. It makes a good story, I'll give you that. The fake clue. Fakes. Forgeries. Ah! I know that face. That's the I just had an idea face. I don't know if I'm right. But I'm going with it anyway. What if our forger is the fake? The fuck? Seven years ago,
Our forger sniffed a trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into the very same trap and dies. Why? That's what I want to know. Because the forger who was killed was a fake. Hear me out again. The victim was a fake. One forger smelled the trap. One forger fell into the trap. That's 2 forgers, and one of them was a fake. Yeah. We just came up with the most ridiculous bullshit. Let's go. I'm jamming. Order. What the fuck? So you're telling us that True Misham, the victim, was a fake? Well, if he was a fake, who's the real fucking forger? You better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo. There is a switcheroo. I'm afraid you're going to have to back up your story. Mister, just show us just who the real Drew Misham was. That's true, I got my story with evidence, bro. What? If Drew Misham wasn't the real forger, there's only one other person it could have been. No fucking way, what? Understood, Your Honor. Forger Drew Misham was himself a forgery. The real forger was... She's 19 years old! But maybe she isn't! Gotta be joking me. There can only be one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger known as Drew Misham is none other than his only daughter, Vera Misham, because the card has Vera Misham. Drew Studio? Vera Misham, there's a D there? I don't know. I don't know if this has anything to do with anything. What? Order! Mr. Justice, this is going on a limb, even for you. I kind of agree. I mean, you're a forger? Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery had been taking place in that studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago. This can only mean the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger. Well, actually, that does make a certain kind of sense. One more thing. Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the forger's studio. Drew Misham's and Vera Misham's. If we know that Drew Misham wasn't the forger, that leaves only one possibility. By process of elimination, the forger was Vera Misham. Well, so Vera was the actual forger. Drew's just her dad living there and didn't really know anything. And he was looking at these envelopes. He's like, I gotta mail this letter. Oh no. He takes out the envelope, licks it, and then puts in the envelope in the letter. And that's why Vera feels like she killed her father. Because she technically did. She kept the evidence of that poison stamp forever. For like a long time. And then, which by the way, 7 years ago. If this age is true, by the way. She was 12 years old? Which I don't know, maybe. But he didn't know anything about it. And he just sort of was like, oh, I just mailed the envelope that you had. And it was an overdue amount of money. It's like, yeah, you did what? And then she fucking dies. And now she's like, feels guilty about it. Fascinating. Or I don't know what she feels. She hasn't said anything. Vera Misham. 12-year-olds like to drum roll, and they apparently also like to commit forgeries and international crimes. Not an international crime, but it's a crime. A big, major forgery crime. You've been paying attention to the trial so far. Maybe they were working together, like Drew was telling Vera to do this stuff
but then Vera encountered the thing. It's still, we don't know everything.
Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who is the forger, Drew Misham? Is that an expression of emotion I saw on her face? She's staring holes in the prosecutor Gavin's face. I'm used to being stared at by Frauleins, believe me. But they usually talk to me too. Tell us, were you the one who forged those works of art? Yes. Oof. So the forger, Drew Misham, was you? Oh, just trying her best here. Yes, it was me. What? What?
The court was in an uproar, and it wasn't coming down. We had to break for a 10-minute recess? Bro, what?
Is this still day one of the trial?
The trial resumes? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Well, guess the trial.
I do want to finish this trial. And if I end now, then... Goodness.
Okay. So where exactly does this leave us, Apollo?
Oh. Well, the Drew Misham who was killed. It wasn't Drew Misham the forger, basically.
Huh? Well then who was he?
Well, he was actually... Yeah, Vera... Who was he? Doing her nails. So you really made those forgeries?
Yes. For father. I know. It was wrong. Could you tell us how it happened? My father was a painter. I loved painting ever since I was a child. One day father saw it. In me. He saw that I had the talent. The talent for making forgeries? How should I say it? It made not only paintings I made. It was not only paintings I made. Given the materials, I could make anything.
Anything.
Father was so proud, and I so happy. But in the end, I was making those
Forgeries.
I've never had a good constitution, nor personality. I know very little of the world outside my door. Now, because of me, Father is... Do you know about this red envelope? I remember the envelope. It was some time ago.
So you already, you were already creating your works back then?
I started when I was only 12 years old.
So the one who figured out the stamp was poisoned, that was... Mr. Justice, it's time. To the courtroom, please. Right. Out of time.
Wait, Vera, just one more thing, please. Those 3 paintings in the studio. I painted those as part of my work. Right. See, we checked them out and we saw what was underneath. We saw the rough sketches underneath the 3 finished paintings. I see. Mr. Justice?
Yes?
Father, he knew of you. Both of you. Your late father? He was watching, gathering information. All about the Wright & Co. law offices. What the fuck? But lately? We're not doing just law. Yes, you do tricks, gags to amuse, and play piano. Well, they're not really gags. I mean, they're very important to my job. Yet when father heard you had resumed the legal business, how pleased he was. Who was Mr. Misham? How am I supposed to know? What if he was Daddy's daddy? I doubt that. Judging from the relative ages involved, I'd say it's highly unlikely. Things are already confusing enough with all these daddies running around. What a phrase. Things are already confusing enough with all these daddies running around. We know that the victim's daughter, Vera, was the forger. What does this mean for the case? Guess we're about to find out. Hashtag too many daddies in this goddamn game. Let's go. Courtroom number 3. I just tapped the mic. My bad. Court is now back in session. Vera seems pretty tense. She's practically chewing her fingernails clean off. Perhaps you could begin by telling us how it all worked. Why did you set up this Drew Misham forger persona? There's that stare again. She's drilling more holes into his head. I know it's hard for you, but hey, he's a handsome guy. What's hard? Oh? Excuse me? Very well. Could you please stop talking about what's hard and focus on this? Miss, if you would. Did you really make those detestable forgeries? Perhaps you'd rather answer my question. Were you the one who painted that painting? The remarkably similar one? Yes. I painted it. Yes. Father praised me quite highly for it. So she was the one who made the forgeries. Yet she did not wish to reveal the truth of their operation, so the victim was a stand-in, a decoy. To the world at large, he was the forger, not her. I've done a bad thing. I have, haven't I? Regardless, we need a little more information. About, for instance, this. You have seen this before, yeah? Yes. It was in the desk drawer. Yeah. Very well, you may proceed with your testimony. Tell us everything you know about this envelope. Oh my gosh, she's gonna lie. Because I have to find contradictions. I created things, and father sold them. This envelope came after my first work. That was other than a painting. Father handled the deal. All of it. I received the stamp that was in the envelope. It was after that job that we moved to the current studio. There certainly wasn't much great interest in your testimony. Not that the witness realizes it. Very well, please begin the cross-examination. Right, okay. I need more information about this forger. This Drew Misham. Okay. So these things you were making are, you mean paintings, identical to your other paintings, right? The closer they were, the happier father was. I was happy too. Still, you're quite young now. When did you begin this work? My first painting sold when I was 12. Your Honor, She had no idea what she was doing was illegal. Objection. Easy there, little attorney. You're not here to defend her for the crime of forgery. True. Please tell us more about this envelope. This envelope that may very well have killed your father. Alright. Yeah, as fucked up as it is, we're here to disprove that she murdered her dad. At least, Phoenix did say that she was guilty, which makes me sad if it's true. By other than a painting, you mean you'd only done paintings up to that point? Yes. Father had a realization. He noticed my talent extended to making things other than paintings. For instance, a letter someone had written, or a fingerprint left upon a cup, or a signature on a document, a seal upon a letter. None of this makes her sound very innocent at all. And the $100,000 promised in this letter was the start. The beginning of a new industry for Drew Misham. A new industry. The creation of items to be used in criminal proceedings. Forging evidence, in other words. Uh-oh. It's not looking good. Hold it. So, you didn't know how the things you were making were being used? Nope. I enjoy painting very much. I think I understand. Fräulein had lived in an unusual little world. Can you tell us what happened to the papers that were in this envelope? Father signed them and sent them back, I believe. Did he follow the instructions? Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp. This is a rather important matter. Give your answers some thought. You received the stamp. What do you mean you received it? Did I do something wrong? You didn't use that stamp because it was dangerous, correct? Deadly poison on the back. Antiquinine. Objection. A moment, Edward. You get force an answer upon the witness, and perhaps you would tell me, Fräulein Vera. Why did you receive the stamp? Something wrong? It was beautiful. Oh, you mean it was one of those commemorative stamps? Yes, I think it was. So you didn't know about the poison? I guess not. So she, as a 12-year-old girl, saw a cool ass stamp and was like, "Aw, that's a present for doing good job," and then just put it in a little frame. So the job failed by chance, by mistake, thanks to this commemorative stamp. Quite a close call. You mean you moved to where the current Drew studio is? Yes, we saw very few people there. I began drawing picture books. This single job had tied them to the criminal underworld. I think Mr. Misham wished to reduce their visibility in the world at large. When we had to meet someone for some reason, Father posed as the creator of the work. So that was the real essence of the artist Drew Misham. You did the work and he supplied the face. So, you really didn't know anything, did you? You had no idea how much danger you were in. I guess everything seems true. Apparently not.
About this commemorative stamp. Could you tell us more about it? It was very pretty. And more than that. Yes. It was a picture of people I liked at the time. Huh? This is something new. Is it? No, it's the Gavineers. Apparently we got some cross-examination yet ahead of us. He's 24. That means he... Well, no, he did. No, he was young at the time, yes. Barely out of fucking high school 7 years ago. Dude, he passed the bar at 17. And was a worldwide rock group, probably. So maybe he already had stamps of him. She looks like Gavin with eyes. Maybe she likes his band. If you would be so kind as to continue your testimony, Fraulein. The stamp was a picture of my favorite magicians, so I kept it. Magicians? I love mysterious things. I always have. Even though she fainted when she saw Mr. Hat? You're confusing mysterious with freaky. Father took me when I was very young. It was a great magic show. I loved it so much. See? Isn't magic great? Fine, great, yeah, sure. Don't need to get all excited. But the magic troupe we saw disbanded soon after. I was quite sad. Did she just say what I think she just said? Magic troupe? Now where have I heard that before? The red envelope came after she'd completed her first job. That makes it a letter from her client, whoever wanted a forgery made. Apollo! We're close. We just have to piece together the parts. A deadly weapon in a red envelope. And the path it took to take Drew Misham's life. Oh, this is gonna be actually very difficult to go to speedrun Drew. Alright. Let's say we would present this. Magician Valiant Grammary. Right? Picture of my favorite magicians, so I kept it. With the Grammary envelope. Grammary Magic Incorporated. Objection! Yeah, this one. Those magicians you liked. Was it this bunch? Apollo, they're not a bunch. They're the Brady Bunch. I see. Still, I have to wonder, why include your commemorative stamp like that in a business letter? Good question. Well, pretty stamps are always better, and you can't beat Troop Grammary. The whole murder plan was a failure because of it. Ironic, don't you think, Prosecutor Gavin? He's sweating bullets. Prosecutor Gavin? Grammary? What's with Gavin? Might I ask just one more question of this witness? In your testimony just now, you stated this was your first work that was other than a painting? Please tell me, what exactly did you make? Yeah, it's actually very... No!
Answer the question now! Whoa. Oh, Prosecutor Gavin! What the fuck? Are you okay? You're actually not the one whose volume concerns me. Yes, it is unbecoming of me. I apologize. But I must know. Please, Miss Misham, tell me. It was a book. A single page in a book. A book? Please be more specific. It was a handwritten book. Like a diary. It's finally connected. No. I don't. No! This is connected to the case 7 years ago. Whatever happened, it was a forged item by her. What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks like he just saw a ghost. Miss Misham, this book. Was that a picture of a silk hat on the back of the cover? Yes or no? How did you know? Objection! Prosecutor Gavin, the defendant is answering all of your questions. Stop badgering her. He's told you nothing, has he? Your soiled Sully mentor nothing. Sully? Who? Phoenix Wright. Who else? Daddy? He never told you about the trial 7 years ago. And how he came to lose his attorney's badge. Oh. It was a certain piece of evidence that decided his fate, you know. A certain diary. On the back, it bore the mark of a silk hat. What? Phoenix Wright tossed out of the profession by false evidence? And the forger who made that evidence is this girl standing right in front of me. Vera, you must tell us. The evidence you made was used in a trial 7 years ago. Who asked you, Misham, you, to forge that evidence? For all of our sakes, who was it? She's thinking. He only met once. It's gonna be Gavin's brother, isn't it? You met the client? Well, who was it? It was. She's looking at Gavin because it looks like him. What's going on with Vera? She's staring at Prosecutor Gavin's face again. Yes, but is there something about me? I remember clearly. I remember who gave me the book. The diary. Who was it? Vera? The devil. No! Don't tell me she got poisoned! The nail polish! She beat her nails! No! Examiner's diagnosis. Acute atroquinine poisoning. Oh, okay, she's not dead yet, but maybe she could still live. This ends the recording of the trial for the murder of Drew Misham. Vera Misham was, during the trial, poisoned by an unknown assailant. The dose was just under the lethal amount, sparing the defendant's life. She is currently in intensive care. It is not to be disturbed for any reason. A very simple case at first glance, until it finally began to show its true colors. The long road to the truth takes us to the record of another trial. Oh, there he is! Baby boy Phoenix! In some ways, that was the starting point of it all. Oh, there he is! Baby boy Gavin. And that is where we must go. There she is! Baby girl! Trucy! To find the whole truth. Oh, we're going back in time. And it's using old Phoenix Wright music. Well, yeah, no, she was using nail polish, and then she just bit her nails. And that's how the poison got in her body. But she didn't, take it that much. So thankfully she's okay. But, yeah, she just got unconscious, and she cannot tell us, of course, the most key part that probably Gavin's brother, who looks very much like him, told her to, forge the evidence. There we go. Trial 7 years ago. Continue on to the next chapter. No, that is it. Yeah, I did not expect that last part to be a lot shorter than before, but, oh shit, well damn. Next time we go back in time, could experience another case with Mr. Phoenix Wright. That was great. Good. Great first introduction. To everything going on. Excited about all the stuff. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Glad I was able to figure out. The only thing I got really stuck on was like 2 parts of it, but for the most part, we got through it. Yeah, that is it. Tomorrow I will try to basically stream Baldur's Gate 3. If I get the chance. Sorry, I haven't been able to do that. And I think that is it.